Lisa had her surgery, and everything went great. And I just want to say right off the bat, all of you who have been praying about that, we felt it. It made a huge difference. She's been amazing. Hardly any setbacks at all. The surgery, Jase, was about under the knife about 10 hours.
Wow.
And basically wheeled her back at 7 a.m., brought her back to the room at 7 p.m. So the doctor told me, he said, it's going to be the longest day of your life, but the shortest day of hers. And that's exactly what it was. But she's doing great. Still here. I have turned into quite the nurse, which I didn't know I had it in me, but I found out, and Dad might can relate to this because Mom's back home too. You figure out that you can do things you never thought you could do when you have to do it. So part of that's just I guess part about serving your bride, especially when she needs you. So we're all good. Waiting to hear a few more days till our follow-up visit, and then hopefully we'll be back home. So thanks for all the prayers for everybody.
No, it sends you back to that. You know, when my daughter's had so many surgeries, and my wife used to characterize it as the new normal.
Yeah.
And part of the new normal is you do things that you never thought you could do. When a loved one is down, you just figure it out, roll up your sleeves. And
I actually learned a lot just from, kind of viewing you guys from the outside, Jase, with Mia, and just the toughness that people have. And I would say just our wives and daughters in general. I mean, there's a toughness there that's pretty amazing. Of course, for me, it's almost like it's weird for me being back here in New Orleans. I got to thinking about it because you have a lot of time to, reminisce in your mind when you spend a lot of time with the Almighty. And, when I came to Christ here, I submitted my life in this city when I was, a wayward son. It happened, just up the road in Kenner. And then I came back here with Dad, and I saw him for the first time that I'd seen him like do a public, witnessing of who Jesus is in a setting that was a duck call setting, and it impacted me in a huge way. And then I came back here for Katrina, and we planted a couple of churches and helped folks. And now here I am again in another phase, now 40 years later, serving my wife. So it's almost like the Almighty uses this city for what I need in my own personal walk. It's just kind of a weird coincidence, I guess. It's 4 different times I've been here, and all of them have had a huge impact on my spiritual walk as well as my just regular walk. So I don't know what that means, but I used to not like this city. There's a lot of bad things about it, but for whatever reason, the Almighty's used it to grow me. So I give him praise for that.
You should write a book, Al. New Orleans.
I should.
Gateway to heaven.
New Orleans.
Walking to New Orleans.
With a sick wife, you find out what really a friendship really is. If you call them at 1 o'clock in the morning and they tell you this, my woman's down, I need some hands down here. Within 10 minutes, there was 2 of them out there come walking in.
Oh, so you're talking about Miss Kay was down and you...
Kay was down on the floor, can't get up. I'm not stout enough. Dead weight, but it's alive. But
live weight, that's a better depiction.
Your neighbors will come in, and I said, let's grab a hold of where we can and stand her up, boys.
Yeah, I've been involved in that process. It's not easy.
I got to thinking about it, and I said, I better have some way to where they'll be happy. So my friends who live up the road, the redneck crew, I mean, it's a bunch of them.
Yeah, what's funny is
a couple of them get down there. I slipped them about $20 a piece. I said, "Oh, you don't owe nothing." I said, "Go ahead and take it." They were reaching for it when they said, you don't have to owe it."
Everybody can always use a little cash there.
Well, I said, look, I know it's 1 o'clock in the morning, but if I have to call you back, be ready. They said, all you do is call. We'll be there.
It's amazing what people do for $20, Phil.
Yeah.
Lifting fee.
Yeah, I would say that after watching you over the course of my whole life, and you and Mom now been together 60 years, I mean, how you are and taking care of her is pretty amazing. I mean, you've taught me some life lessons even in the later years.
She was having
appreciate
trouble
you doing that.
getting up on the bed because most of the time, if you walk up on a bed, it's upward somewhat. So Jersey Joe said, we need to lower the bed down closer to the floor.
Was a chainsaw involved in this?
I mean, a saw was involved.
Oh, yeah. I like it, Phil.
And he walked and looked at the bed, looked at it, and said, yeah, we can lower this where her feet will be on the floor and her buttocks would be would be.
We get the picture. Yeah, I got it.
So, yeah. So
very descriptive. Very descriptive. Yeah, we've been off for a little bit, so I guess the audience doesn't know we've been off.
No, we kept rolling the episodes, but we've had a little sabbatical, Zach.
Yeah.
A sabbatical where Kay's in the hospital. Yeah. Lisa gets major surgery with her breast cancer, and Jase's house gets destroyed by a tornado. It was a great sabbatical, right?
It was a pretty amazing.
Yep.
Jace tells that story.
Well, I got a week off. You know, we were going on vacation, which was a transition period because I just got back from vacation, and usually it's called our family vacation. But Al and Lisa, y'all were there right at the beginning because y'all
came a couple of days early. Yeah.
Y'all came by and we had prayer together, and because Al was like, "Don't feel bad that you're spending our traditional vacation while we're going to the hospital," because everybody did. I mean, we almost didn't have vacation because, especially all the women, were like, "Well, we're not gonna go to the beach when Lisa's getting cut on," but we kind of had that conversation, and y'all were like, "We really would. There's nothing you can do. Y'all have
and what I said, Jace, was you guys were in our favorite place in the world, and so we got to live that out through y'all. So we would have rather y'all done that because you can pray from anywhere on the planet, and y'all did that. And I really appreciate your prayer over us that night. That was very touching.
Yeah, it was touching. We all cried, and it was not that we were scared or fearful. Actually, Lisa was surprisingly the most confident person there. It was kind of,
she was.
It was very inspirational. And so Mom, who's doing a lot better, she was at my house last night. We had a Memorial Day celebration, so you can date this to whenever this is coming out. And so she was down, so she didn't go on vacation. And her sister, who's in her 80s and doing quite well, she stayed back with Miss Kay just to help her. So I say all that to say this. About 3 or 4 days into the vacation, I looked up and realized something, that I was the old toot of the vacation. I was the oldest person there.
You're the patriarch now.
That's right.
It was really weird because all of a sudden, all the old people jokes were directed towards me the entire time. Because it wasn't even close. I mean, Jep was there, but he's 10 years younger than me. He's a young buck. Although you would never know that if we did any activity. That's another story. But because Jep acts like an old person.
He does.
He really does.
Has for years.
He's talking about his ailments, and everything revolves around, when's his next bowel movement going to happen? And he's sharing that, every day. So, but before that, we had a week where we were just going to have off. And so, wouldn't you know it, someone just sends us a random text saying, we're praying for y'all. And this is it's a terrible story for me to say because I actually have a couple houses, which you're like, oh, big problems, I mean, one of your houses was destroyed. Yeah. But my son lives there in south of Nashville in Columbia. And so we get a call saying, we're praying for y'all. We didn't even know there was a tornado watch in that area. So as soon as Missy got that message, I said, call our son. Well, when she called him, it was a 30-second conversation and he was in and out. Because I'll have to tell you what happened so you can kind of explain and understand from our perspective. I mean, the reason his phone wasn't working is because a tornado had already hit. We didn't get the message till a couple of hours after tornado hit. But in the 30 seconds, my son was in shock because he had survived a tornado that hit our house.